Hi, I'm Don Christenson, and I'm here today with Chad Coltrane, Victory Junction Camp. For our community back home, I was telling Chad that, we rethought our mission statement and our core values. And at the top of that was community, and community is important to us as a business, but it's also important to us in the communities that we've served. And Victory Junction's been a big part of my community since 2016 when I started riding the Kyle Petty charity ride. Chad's gonna give us a tour of the facilities today, but I'd really like for you to talk a little bit about what camp does and what you provide here.
Yeah, so first of all, Don, thank you, and thank you for allowing Victory Junction to be in your community, and we appreciate you being in our community and our family. Victory Junction provides life-changing camp experiences for kids with serious illness or chronic medical conditions. And we do that through 3 programs. That's our summer camp, our family weekend sessions in the spring and fall, and our outreach program where we take indoor camp activities to bedsides in children's hospitals in North Carolina, South Carolina, and now expanding into Virginia. We do all of that free of charge. And we could not do what we do without folks like you being in our community and helping out on our team and providing these services free of charge by you guys giving and driving the truck full of water and providing that for our staff, our campers, our volunteers, everybody who will be a participant at Victory Junction here over the next, I don't know how long it's going to take us to go through all that water, but it's fantastic, and we certainly appreciate that. But again, we couldn't do all of that if it weren't for folks like you and helping us provide those camp experiences. Our goal is simply that we want kids to forget their illness for a while. Their life is dominated by their illnesses. We want them to forget those illnesses, be a kid, raise a ruckus, and to be able to come to camp and have a camp experience like none other. We try to roll out the red carpet the best we can and to provide those camp experiences for those children who deserve it so richly.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the Petty family and the founding of the camp.
Certainly. Camp was founded by the Petty family, Kyle Petty and his father, Richard. Obviously, Richard donated, him and his wife donated the property that we're standing on and that you'll see today. The idea of camp was Adam Petty's. Adam Petty is a 17-year-old up-and-coming NASCAR driver, unfortunately lost his life in a NASCAR accident at New Hampshire. And the family rallied around that tragedy and built this camp and turned that tragedy into triumph. For so many kids, the healing that takes place here, and it was healing for the family. I think you mentioned that earlier, and just a tremendous opportunity for the family to heal as well. And
this is your 20th anniversary, and you serve about 2,000 kids a year, or summer.
On site.
On site.
Yeah, so about 2,500 kids a year. That we serve here on site at Victory Junction, and another 8,000 that we serve in our hospital outreach program. We talked about providing this service free of charge. There's 83 kids here this week for camp. We value each one of those experiences at $2,500 in order to provide that experience. The medical professionals that are here, the nutrition folks that are here, and the camping staff obviously that are all here. It takes quite a bit of effort and a lot of logistics to make all this happen safely for these children.
For the families and the kids that are part of our community that are out watching, that are going to see this, how would they go about finding an opportunity to come to camp?
Yeah, we're more than welcome to come to camp. First thing I'd say is that camp is for everyone. It's not just a camp for kids with terminal diagnosis. It's a camp for, if you have a diagnosis period, then this is a camp for you. You can simply go to victoryjunction.org. There's an application process that you can start to fill out on our website. You can certainly call Victory Junction. There's an admissions team that's what their job is year-round, is to bring kids to camp. And we're constantly talking to advocacy groups and folks and social workers and getting more and more kids to camp. Our goal is to, there's plenty of kids out there. We haven't served them all yet, but we're trying. And so far we've served kids from 50 states and 4 different countries, but there's more there. There's more out there. And so certainly our website's the best way to reach us. These kids deserve a camp experience. Most of us went to a Boy Scout camp, some camp experience. And if you think about all the things that you learned, the independence that you got, when you were away from mom and dad for a weekend, right? The world is a better place because this is a group of kids that don't have that service, that opportunity. This is a better world to provide that opportunity. I say all the time, this is God's work.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I've said before, I don't believe Adam Petty was put on this earth to drive a race car. I believe he was put on earth to start this camp. And that's not Chad's legacy. That's not a Petty legacy. I think it's God's legacy.
Yeah, I agree
personally.
with that, absolutely.
See, I chuckled when you said a bottle of water, a truckload of water is not a lot. It is it's a tremendous amount. And we can't do all this free of charge without a lot of people being in our family. It's that old adage, it takes a village, right? And so what does that mean? So I didn't have to spend money on water today and won't have to spend money on water this year. And what does that allow us to do? That allows us to put those resources somewhere else to bring kids to camp. So if you think about everything that goes into providing this experience for kids, you're talking about programmatic modifications, we're talking about medical modifications, we're talking about meal modifications. There's a lot of resources that go into those things in order to provide that experience for these kids. And when you're buying water and transporting water here, that's taken away from those resources to provide that for those kids. So that's what it means to us. It means that we can provide this experience to more kids at a larger, in a larger footprint. We're serving kids from all 50 states and four different countries. That's not just North Carolina. It's just not Randolph County here where we are. If a kid from Texas wants to come to camp here and transportation is a problem for them, we will arrange that transportation. We may find somebody to donate it, or we may have to purchase the ticket ourselves. Our job is to eliminate every barrier to get every kid to camp that we can, and that's what we try to do. So thank you, I should say thank you. Our goal here is whatever you see, we want every kid that show up here, we want them to do every single thing. Now, we don't make them. Everything's challenged by choice, but we want you to do everything. I always tell a story. My first year here, there was a young lady climbing this tower. She was 16 years old, so we serve kids 6 to 16. This young lady, Emma Rose, had been to the top of that tower many times, but she had never climbed to the top on her own. She was born without her legs. She said, I'm aging out, so I'm gonna climb to the top on my own. And I got a call from our camp director. He said, Chad, I think you need to come down here and watch this. And so I come down here and I watch her climb to the top, and it was incredible. While I was down here, there was another young lady on the swing. While I'm watching Emma Rose climb, I hear this blood-curdling scream, and I fully expected to turn around and see somebody laying on the ground. It was one of those types of screams. I knew this young girl, her name was Pear. She was 12 at the time, and I looked at Pear. First of all, I was relieved to see that she was still on the swing. What I noticed is when she got to the top of her swing and she spun around, I could see her face. She had the biggest smile.
Yeah.
Gigantic smile. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, like it is 8 years later. That it wasn't a scream of fear, but it was just pure joy. And that's what camp's about. There's a place for them to come and experience pure joy. Put that illness to the back, right, and bring forward the having fun, the being a kid, being a 12-year-old kid and raising a ruckus, right? That's what camp's all about.